Welcome back, YouTubers, to our Extreme Rules preview with none other than your boys, your co-hosts, the British Fist.
KJ!
I am the Extreme One, Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me is the doubly Extreme One. He is the Kane Mark, Triple H Mark #1, and Cena Hater #1. God, that's a lot of #1s, NJ, but he deserves it. It's NJ!
What's up?
Subscribe or above, like this video, and comment your thoughts going into this Extreme Rules pay-per-view extravaganza down in that comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the link in the good box below.
Indeed. So Extreme Rules, NJ, the so-called backlash after WrestleMania. WrestleMania came, WrestleMania's kind of gone now, but Extreme Rules has kind of creeped up on us a little bit, isn't it? It's kind of like, whoa, Extreme Rules is here now.
Yeah, Extreme Rules came quite rapidly, and so I think the WWE, to get into this pay-per-view, job-wise, they've done okay in some matches.
Yeah, I think this is all, it's kind of been dominated by Lesnar, really, isn't it? This whole WWE product right now. After WrestleMania, you had the Rock Cena. Now you're going on to Brock Lesnar, and no doubt he's in the main event of the show against John Cena. Just the thing is, right, is there's a lot of WrestleMania rematches on this card, isn't there? And I think, to be honest with you, I don't like the fact that only 6 matches have been announced. It's just like, is that really enough in a pay-per-view? And I think the problem for WWE right now is the fact that the reason why they can't have that many matches on the pay-per-view now is because they don't have that many big babyface stars now, do they? Like Sin Cara's out injured, Rey Mysterio's out injured. They don't have massive babyface stars they can put their heels against, which means they don't have that many matches. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the fact they as we said in the past, SmackDown is pretty bad with talent. They keep losing them one way or another. So the fact that you can't really give us the flow of matches to fill this card a bit more is a bit sad, but at the same time, the matches we've got are pretty strong ones, and the majority of them are main event type matches instead of like mid-card or tag match, which is the disappointing thing. And
a lot of them as well are matches which could possibly end the feud, which actually legitimizes the fact they need some kind of Extreme Rules gimmick. Like you said, after WrestleMania, a lot of them had legit wrestling matches. Now they're moving on to sort of like the feud-ending blow-off type matches, which you'd expect like from street fights and, you know, and Falls Count Anywhere matches and stuff. You got 3 feuds there from SmackDown. You got 2 from Raw, which is strange. Usually SmackDown has way less than Raw. And you've got 1 Divas match. Now, what other, can we see any? Because there's only 6 matches, so there must be some filler matches in there somewhere. Maybe a tag title match, or a Brodus Clay squash, or a Ryback squash, or something.
But what we're going to say is that there's the pre-match, which is the US title, which Shane didn't make it onto the card.
Yes.
But if we had to think of another match, there may just be a squash match with Brodus Clay with Ziggler or Swagger. They might have Ryback just getting his first pay-per-view match. Or maybe even, fingers crossed, don't think it will happen, an FCW match somewhere, just to give them their big showcase in a WWE pay-per-view. But maybe it won't happen, but it's just an idea there.
Maybe that'll be their video package. Who really knows? Like Elimination Chamber when we saw Big E Langston, Seth Rollins, Liaki, all those guys from FCW. We'll say this before we go into this preview. We've got 6 matches to actually talk about here, but the build to me has generally been okay because you could just continue matches on from WrestleMania, and you still got, you know, a big main event match in Lesnar versus Cena, which has kind of dominated WWE right now. So that's the selling point of Extreme Rules. You got Punk versus Jericho in a rematch for the WWE Championship. Again, should be a good. There's a lot of potentially good matches here, in my opinion, especially with the Extreme Rules gimmicks added in there as well.
I think the fact that they've managed to, because most WrestleMania matches, it follows on to the next pay-per-view, which is what they're doing, and
like Backlash.
I think they've done a pretty good job here now, giving us the hype up to this pay-per-view, because obviously they're just continuation, so I think they've done an okay job with this.
So we have a special YouTube, it's funny they're putting this on YouTube, the home of the British Fist and other such YWC shooters. The pre-show YouTube special, we have the United States Championship match between Santino Marella and The Miz. Now, my first question here is, like you said earlier, should this not have been on the card? With only 6 matches, you'd think they would, #1, try and build to a US title match, and #2, put guys like Santino and The Miz on the actual card itself.
Well, this is what I would have done. Like in the past, coming when it was, there weren't a title match. I think we weren't US, but they had a backstage segment which made a US match. Maybe they could have done this. Maybe they could have had Miz and Santino bump into each other or something, and then they cause a little fight or something, just to get a match instead of a pre. Yeah, it does look to the internet before the show, but actually on the pay-per-view would have given these 2 a better importance, and also another match added to the card.
I always thought that, especially with guys like Santino and Miz in there, the US title match should be on the card, especially when you only have 6 matches there. I appreciate you're probably going to give some of the matches a lot of time, but this really, in my opinion, should have been on the card. But I see none other than Santino winning this. I just don't see I mean, I like the idea of having a YouTube pre-show as a kind of hype show for the show, kind of like Sunday Night Heat used to do back in the Attitude Era. But I don't see Miz winning. I see Santino Marella retaining the title, of course, because it is the pre-show.
I'm going to say Santino to win, but obviously with Miz, trying to get back into this winning streak, a US title win would give him a great push, but it's going to be Santino.
It will be Santino. So I think we'll start off with the match we have least interest in, the Divas title match. We saw Beth Phoenix lost the title using a worked injury on Raw to Nikki Bella. They're going to have a rematch on this show. There's not really been really that much build to it, apart from what they did on that Raw. But I don't think this is about the match. I think personally this is about the return of a certain Karma.
That's what I think. Because again, this is how I would have done this, or I'm going to book this. You can have Beth Phoenix versus Nikki Bella in a match. You can have Karma interfere, giving Nikki Bella the win by screwing Beth Phoenix and that. Then you'll feed the Bellas to Karma for the next few months or something, or maybe next pay-per-view, and then obviously that will build up to Beth Phoenix versus Karma again. But I do see Nikki Bella probably winning here.
I do hope they save the Beth Phoenix Karma feud to a bigger pay-per-view, like maybe a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania or something, just a bigger pay-per-view. So I expect. I don't really know. I expect Beth Phoenix to win personally, but I expect Karma to maybe take out the Bellas or something, just as a way to introduce her back, kind of like they did with Michelle McCool last year at Extreme Rules. Oh, year on, another return from Karma, right?
Thank you.
Indeed. The Intercontinental Championship match, Big Show versus Cody Rhodes. The match stipulation will be decided during the pay-per-view. I'm not sure your thoughts on that, but I like the way the WWE announced matches beforehand in the stipulation. I'm not sure of the whole spinning the wheel thing before the match.
They could have done it during SmackDown. They had many chances because they had Cody Rhodes and Big Show, two different segments there. They could have done it then. But the match I'm predicting straight away, I know it's a spinnable wheel or something, but I'm predicting a tables match.
It should be something like that. But the thing is, MJ, it's like it could be any match. This is what I don't like about it. There's two problems I have with this match. Number one, I don't want it to be a squash. And I feel after Cody Rhodes got beat by Great Khali in 2 minutes, it could be a squash. I don't want it to be like a stupid blindfold match or a Russo match. That would kill this, in my opinion. I just want to see maybe a hardcore match, like kind of similar to last year when you had Ray versus Cody in a hardcore title match. I want to see that same thing with Big Show and Cody Rhodes over the Intercontinental Championship. I expect Big Show to win, though.
I do think Big Show, because obviously he's had his WrestleMania match. He wants to look dominant. He wants to be a dominant champ going for future IC opponents. But also, I'd have Cody maybe win, because he's gave Big Show his non-embarrassing moment at WrestleMania. Now he's given that. Cody can go back to the IC champ, have a great run with that before going to the main event again. But at the same time, I'm saying Big Show just because obviously he's the one who's going to be progressing on from there, and Cody's going to progress towards the main event.
You'd think that this would be the way they would blow off the feud, so I expect Big Show to win this personally, especially after the way they did it at WrestleMania. So that's my thoughts on that match. Orton versus Kane, Falls Count Anywhere. No doubt I know who you're backing here, NJ.
Oh, yes, but it's not the person I think is going to win. I would like to see, because obviously what they have normally in past WrestleManias, one person will win at WrestleMania, and then the opposite person will win their chance at Backpack. It's happened many times, or Extreme Rules. They've had it many times. That's what I'm thinking. Orton's probably going to win, but I would love to see Kane win and obviously continue this monster run over Orton and main eventers. Yeah,
and also I feel that they. Before WrestleMania, I wasn't really that interested in this feud, but they've at least tried doing some things with the Orton-Kane feud. Like you had Orton defeat Kane in a street fight, setting up this potential rubber match in a Falls Count Anywhere match. You had Kane going after Orton's family, going up. So the feud has gotten a little bit more interesting since WrestleMania, which really, but until then, really wasn't that interesting in my opinion. It's kind of seemed like a filler feud. They've at least put some effort into it, and this should be a decent blow-off match. You know that Orton and Kane will be able to put on at least a decent Falls Count Anywhere match, and I fully expect Orton to win. I think this will be the blow-off to the feud now. I don't see it continuing that much more.
It should be, but if Orton wins, it'll be 1-1, but WrestleMania Kane, Extreme Rules, Orton.
You got the Street Fight on SmackDown as well.
Maybe they count that.
That's what this will be the blow-off.
All I'll say, it'll be probably the payoff, and then they'll go on to different things. Yeah.
World Heavyweight Championship match, Sheamus versus Bryan. 2 out of 3 falls kind of seems like that WWE are kind of making up for the fact that they could only give us 80 seconds of WrestleMania, and they're probably going to give us a little bit more time using the 2 out of 3 falls concept at Extreme Rules. It's kind of interesting how things have planned out after WrestleMania with Daniel Bryan getting very over. Now they're incorporating the yes chants with Del Rio and Sheamus, and it'll be at least it'll be I think this will at least be a good match between 2 wrestlers that I know could go out there and put on a decent match, but have been deprived of it at both WrestleManias.
I'm going to look at this and think they're just trying to make this feud end in a bigger way than they wanted it to. So I don't think this feud's going to continue after this. I think this is just going to be the roundup thing to wrap up WrestleMania, to wrap up the build to Extreme Rules. So I'm going to see Sheamus retaining, because obviously I think they're going to go towards Sheamus and Del Rio.
It does look like it.
And obviously Bryan, again, as it was hinted on the Go Home show, people were predicting that he's going to fall back down and be buried again after this. But the fact that he's over, who knows what's going to happen to Bryan after Extreme Rules.
Yeah, Sheamus will win this, and I think Vince McMahon is doing this purely on the fact that he wants to stop these yes chants and stop this ROH guy getting over. But it's interesting how the dynamic of Daniel Bryan and the character of Daniel Bryan has kind of developed since WrestleMania going into Extreme Rules. It seems like he's gotten very over with those yes chants, and WWE do all they can to get Sheamus over, and right now they do need baby faces, so they do need to put some focus on baby faces like Sheamus, and I fully expect him to retain the title, and I think he should retain the title.
And that's the thing, because I've always been behind Sheamus, especially this WrestleMania match. Yes, it wasn't the best, but I'm glad that he won, and now I'm looking forward to him going for a longer run with the title.
He should have a long run with the title, I think, because they do need to legitimize Sheamus. So I think a long run with the title, feed him some heels on SmackDown, like Cody Rhodes, maybe a Mark Henry, maybe a Del Rio, like they're going to do. It would be a good thing for Sheamus. The WWE Championship Match, CM Punk versus Chris Jericho, Chicago Street Fight. Again, interesting how they built this using Jericho going after Punk's alcoholic, and family and all that kind of stuff. I know you don't like that, but I think it's really added something to the feud, in my opinion. It's kind of added a different dimension to the feud like it did at WrestleMania. Now, this has a legitimate reason to be a Chicago Street Fight. And once again, like most of these matches, I expect this to be the blow-off. But if Chris Jericho does win, which I think possibly could happen, it could prolong the feud a little bit longer, in my opinion, maybe towards SummerSlam.
Well, the way I look at this is that we're going to have probably, I would like to say Punk retain, because he's had all this bad stuff happen to him on the build-up. Yeah. And yes, I don't think all these matches are going to finish at Extreme Rules. I think some of them may continue afterwards, but with this particular one, I think Punk should get the upper hand over Jericho, let all his frustration out in this Extreme Rules match. And the fact they used the whole alcoholism and all that stuff about the family every week, it just got a bit boring. So that's what I'm thinking now. The focus of this match is not on the belt. It's not. It seriously is not. They want this to be about the WWE Championship. It's more about them just batting the hell out of each other. Jericho may be more towards the title, but Punk just wants, forget about the title, I'm battering you. So that's a bit of a shame, because the importance of this match should be the belt.
Yeah, and I do think it is important, but they've just built up a good feud in there as well, which is what you do need in these belts sometimes. It would be if it was just a no belt feud, I'd say great. But I think if you have Punk win here, I'm fine with that. If you have Jericho win here, you can really take this whole alcoholic thing to the next level, which could be a great thing, in my opinion, in the way they do these storylines. If you have Jericho win and, for example, CM Punk go off on a bender or take his first drink of alcohol or something, you can really take the story to the next level. But I still think Punk will retain. I personally think Punk will retain, just because I think they want to end this feud now. I think they do. It's going on for a long time.
It should just finish here, because I think they've done the right thing now. Jericho's put over Punk, especially if he does it again at the Extreme Rules. I think they should just finish it here.
And this really should establish CM Punk as a top star, really, shouldn't it?
It should do
that. Like the WrestleMania match did. WrestleMania... Well, no, actually, I said WrestleMania. This is Extreme Rules. This is a match which could have really main evented WrestleMania. Lesnar versus Cena in an Extreme Rules match. Now, the whole focus on WWE lately has been around Brock Lesnar. So it's no real surprise that Brock Lesnar versus John Cena is the main event. A lot of people had thoughts. Was it too soon? Are they doing it at the right time? But whatever we think, this should be a hell of a main event, shouldn't it?
Well, again, just like The Rock, maybe Brock Lesnar will be a bit rusty because he's having to adapt to WWE style wrestling. At the same time, with Lesnar being the guy he is, the way he performs, or the way he used to perform, I'm expecting him to still be that dominant guy, the guy that's going to make Cena work in this match, as well as Cena finally getting his chance to fight against Brock and show some fight towards Brock.
Yeah, and I can only see Brock Lesnar going, because you brought in Brock Lesnar like you have. If you don't have him go over here, then it's pretty damn stupid. If you want this guy to come in as a major heel, or maybe go after someone like an Orton or a Sheamus or something like that, then you have to have him go here over Cena. This is his first match back. But it will be interesting to see, excuse me, how ring rusty Brock Lesnar is. I mean, they built this feud up very well, haven't they? They've had a lot of hot segments on Raw. The return of Lesnar was fantastic going against Cena. I think Cena is the perfect person to have Brock Lesnar go after, given their history. But do you think this will be a one-off match, or do you think they'll continue it after this, or have a screwy finish with regards to John Laurinaitis and continue the feud, or what do you think?
Well, I see this being Brock Lesnar's big welcome back match. Yeah. He's going to dominate, he's going to go in there, show his wrestling skills, lay out Cena. And I think because of this, the fact that, yes, Cena didn't go back after The Rock, he went straight after Brock Lesnar came out and took out Cena. So I think Cena's going to want there to be another match afterwards, and the feud will continue to a better match where obviously Cena's later going to win most probably. Yeah, probably SummerSlam or later.
And it is an Extreme Rules match as well. It'd be interesting how they package Brock Lesnar. Will they package him as an MMA kind of like I'm going to kick your ass guy? And it's interesting that you're going to be able to use weapons. And are they using the Extreme Rules match to maybe cover a little bit for Brock Lesnar's in-ring rust possibly? So this match, if anything, will be interesting to see how they package Brock Lesnar, how they book Brock Lesnar, and how they're going to book Brock Lesnar from now on. And a lot of it will be told in this match, how much they think of Cena and Lesnar, really. I fully expect Lesnar to go over here as he's been introduced incredibly strong and incredibly created a lot of buzz for the company as well regarding this pay-per-view.
The way he's been brought back was very nicely done. Yeah, I do complain that everyone's going to see him when they come back or make an appearance. Minus that, I am looking forward to this match. But taking away the go-home show, which didn't really work out for Brock, if we look past that and just concentrate on the weeks before, they've done a very good job bringing Lesnar in and making Cena actually show some emotion or some worry about Brock Lesnar. And I'm looking forward to seeing them wrestle against each other and then the continuation afterwards.
So for me, this is a kind of main event for like a big pay-per-view. So the fact it's on a B pay-per-view kind of makes it feel a lot bigger in my opinion, because I don't think it should be on. I think this kind of match should be done at a SummerSlam or a Royal Rumble or a Survivor Series or WrestleMania or something. But nonetheless, I'm still looking forward to this match. This pay-per-view, there's a lot of matches on there which could deliver, especially with the Extreme Rules gimmick, which usually makes the matches a lot better and usually makes the blow-offs feel a lot more special. So I think if there's a lot of blow-off matches in this pay-per-view, it should be pretty good. If it's done to continue some feuds on, it may not be that good. But there's 6 matches on there. There's like 4 or 5 of which could really deliver in the ring and could really give us like a compelling story. I must admit, I'm looking forward to Lesnar Cena. Sheamus, Daniel Bryan should, if nothing else, be a very good wrestling match. Punk and Jericho should be a very good storytelling match. Kane and Orton should be a pretty good Falls Count Anywhere match. I saw their match on SmackDown. If they up their gear on the pay-per-view, it should be pretty good. Cody Rhodes, big show. Interesting to see how they will do that. Hoping my boy wins, but I'm not thinking about it. But it should, hopefully, like last year, it should be pretty good pay-per-view. Maybe even better than WrestleMania. Who knows?
Okay. The way I look at this is that it is been pretty strongly built for some of the main matches, and most of these matches are main matches, not like filler matches or mid-card or tag matches. It's the only disappointment because it's just like a solid thing for the main eventers, not really the lower carders, apart from Big Show and Cody, but they're future main eventers or ex-main eventers. Yeah. But over that, I am looking forward to this. I am enjoying how they built it from WrestleMania matches to Extreme Rules.
Yeah, and you do make a good point there about the lack of mid-carders. It just shows you that they don't really have any, that they've got the established baby faces in like Sheamus, Orton, Cena, blah, 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 Big Show. But they don't really have any like mid-card faces they want to put on there, or even like a guy like Santino can't even make it to the card, and it's very disappointing. It really does show the lack of depth in roster, in my opinion, and why a lot of the pay-per-views this year probably only get like 6 matches, maybe 7 matches announced. It's just like a baby faces.
It just depends on how they build up like the new talent, Ryback, Clay, Tensai. Depends how they build them up in future. Maybe this is just the start of the warm-up of them progressing on with other wrestlers.
Yep, so you've heard our thoughts here on Extreme Rules. Make sure you post your thoughts on Extreme Rules this Sunday down in the comment section below. We of course, as we did last year, will be reviewing Extreme Rules exclusively here on the British Fist channel, WWE Daniel 01. So like I said, get your comments down in the comment section below, and NJ has a special outro for you guys. Go ahead, NJ.
Thank you very much, people. Hope you got extremists just like us. And until next time, people, from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, enjoy Extreme Rules, and goodbye.